What's up, guys? Well, it was a sad Saturday. It is now a sad Sunday. Yeah, back-to-back sad days.
You really
for
missed an
ASU
opportunity
fans.
for Saturday yesterday.
Yeah, I guess. This loss.
Oh, did you?
This loss feels much sadder, though.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Look, guys, welcome into the PHNX Sun Devil Show, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, even leave a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. I am Anthony Kotri, joined, as always, by Shane Diefenbach, Shawn DePaz. Yes. It is time for a walk of shame because the Sun Devils dropped an overtime thriller to Texas Southern. Final score 67-66. Shawn, I'm going to start with you, man. Tough loss for ASU in overtime, dropping a 2-1. What'd you see there in overtime specifically that resulted in this loss?
I mean, a kicked ball that didn't get called for one. But I mean, they just kind of kept getting bullied on the boards. I don't know. ASU just wasn't good today. I've not really enjoyed the last 24 hours of sports.
The last 4 hours.
No, the last 24 hours. ASU football, and then Oregon lost, and the conference is dead. U of A won, and that just sucks. The Bills, now this. I mean, these, like I was saying, these SWAC teams have played like very hard in this, and like this opportunity, like getting to play Power 5 schools in this showcase and stuff like that, like it means a lot for the HBCUs that are a part of it. So, I just want to get this out of the way. On a very personal level, like ASU aside, I really appreciate like what this whole legacy series is, and I appreciate HBCUs winning basketball against Power 5 opponents. Like I think that's really important for the game. But from an ASU perspective, they just, it's the same shit. They just didn't get it done. They got bullied on the boards by a smaller team.
Once again, 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. Warren looked like he was dominating earlier. I mean, he had 14 and 10, 14 boards, 10 points. There just doesn't seem like much of an offense. I mean, missing Marcus Bagley hurts, but you know, this is does Cambridge
only 2 points.
Well, this was the game where he came back, and you know, you would expect a bigger role from him, and he went 1 for 7. Is that him trying to get back into it? Maybe, but you know, at the start of the game we were joking like, oh, they might both score 15. Him and Dev both combined for 7 points. Like it just wasn't good. When you get Gaffneying everywhere, and 0 points and 2 rebounds, Bawachi coming in for like a second and getting a moving screen, Duke Brennan looking like a liability on defense, and Warren playing spurts of good minutes. Like you're just not going to win games like that. You just get bullied on the offensive boards, and especially in that overtime, it just seemed like they just wanted it more. Yeah. And TSU losing their first 2 games, they're 0-2 before this game, 1 to Tech and 1 to San Francisco. Like you gotta win this game. You can't. You're up double digits too. That's the worst part for me.
Yeah, it felt like this game was all set. Like there was 4 minutes to play.
I never felt like that.
It felt, well, from my perspective, it felt like the game was going to be over. At least the way the offense was moving there toward the end of the second half or midway through the second half. Thought that they would be able to just take care of business. But unfortunately, this team is still trying to figure out how to play with a lead, which Bobby talked about and he addressed already in the first couple weeks of the season. Like they have to learn how to close out games. They have to learn how to win because they're so used to, as a program over the course of the last few years, playing from behind. But like you said, Cambridge brothers combining for just 7 points, combining for 1 of 8 from behind the arc. You mentioned Alonzo Gaffney not finding any points. Warren Washington, I'd say he had his best effort of the season, right? 10 points, 14 boards, 4 blocks. It's just, it didn't come together at the end. Let's take a look at the numbers because you guys do bring up the rebounding totals. And I think that's arguably where this game was won and lost. Obviously, the final score 67-66 in favor of Texas Southern. Both teams not shooting phenomenal from the field. Texas Southern 38.8% to ASU's 34.3%. Behind the arc, Texas Southern has the advantage there as well, 35% to ASU's 21%. Free throw numbers, ASU shot pretty well from the free throw line.
Very well.
Yeah, 15 of 17. The Tigers shooting 7 of 19 from the charity stripe, and then you get to the rebounds, 50-41 in favor of Texas Southern.
Here's the thing for me is you look at these numbers and you know, most of it's close. You win the free throw battle. That should help you a lot.
Yeah.
You win the turnover possession by 5. You only commit 1 more foul, but they get 6 extra possessions with their 6 more offensive rebounds, and that's the difference in the game. Yeah. There was a point in this game where Austin Nunez hit a 3 to go up by 11 points, maybe 12. 11 points. It was 39-50, I believe. And then they just stopped playing their brand of basketball. They couldn't get anything going. The offense was stagnant, and the bigs were underwhelming. There's no one that can create their own shot. This team sucks right now. They just do.
I want to acknowledge what Coach Evan B said is Gaffney turning into a deficiency. Like, I feel like we joke about him a lot with like the whole shooter thing, but we also haven't talked at length.
He just hasn't played a lot too.
But yeah, I mean, he just hasn't contributed to this team like at all. Really, I feel like he's been kind of a non-factor, which you can't really have. So yeah, that's a problem for me. The numbers. This just felt like a game from last year. Like, it's one of those things where the team that you played...
This whole team feels like the same team from last year.
It's another one of those games where the team you played did not play well, and ASU managed to play worse.
It also doesn't help that you didn't have Marcus Bagley tonight.
Marcus Bagley.
Yeah, I mean, that's important.
I don't even know, but he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, it's still...
I think Marcus Bagley makes a difference in a 1-point overtime loss.
I agree.
Probably.
Yeah.
No Bagley, no Jemiah Neal again tonight. You mentioned Des Cambridge still coming back.
But I'm not making excuses for this team.
And this just seems like...
I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling... it's factual. That's you're starting... One of your starters.
I think that makes a difference. But at the same time, you
100% makes a difference. But
you still have to win.
But you shouldn't be in a Marcus Bagley difference maker away with the Texas Southern team. Yeah. You shouldn't be ever.
Yeah, I mean, this is ASU is just the kind of team where when they run into teams that just really want it more, they're going. They
play up and down to their competition, phenomenally. And that's what Bobby Hurley teams do. We've seen it.
Meanwhile, conference fellow member of the Pac-12, Colorado, just went and beat number 11 Tennessee
convincingly,
78-66. So it's like. There aren't excuses. There's just not. There's not an excuse for this.
Omar, I'm gonna tell you right now, buddy. You're saying I don't want to hear his name again. You're at the PHNX Sun Devil show. I'm gonna say Marcus Bagley a million fucking times until it's haunting you in your sleep. Okay? But we appreciate the engagement. Did you guys lose any money on this game, or did you stay away from this trap game?
Football Sunday on.
Football Sunday. That's fair. That's absolutely fair. You guys can bet on the NFL. You can bet on college basketball. You can also bet on the NBA. New customers can make any $5 NBA moneyline bet and get $200 if your team wins. You can also boost your winnings up to 100% with DraftKings stepped up same game parlays. It's simple. Download DraftKings Sportsbook. Use promo code PHNX. That's promo code PHNX on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for more details. Guys, let's talk about DJ Horne for a second, because this is a guy that went for 20-plus in Game 2. He had a phenomenal shooting performance, and we talked about how he might be the linchpin to this team, specifically offensively. When he gets going, it just kind of feels like the offense as a whole gets in a better rhythm. Tonight,
he didn't start.
He didn't start. Only had 9 points, 1 of 5 from behind the arc, and 3 of 12 from the field.
Yeah.
Is this what we're going to be going through all season, do you think, with
ups
DJ?
Ups and downs. I think
just DJ specifically.
Yeah, ups and downs with DJ.
Yeah.
I think that they obviously still need to figure out their rotation, and it's not helping that players are missing games. But DJ, I think, almost needs to be starting. He's just such a hot and cold guy. Like, you need to get him in a rhythm early, and if it's not working, then you can pull him. But I think he's so valuable. Starting Des tonight was a little weird. I mean, you guys know I talked about how excited I am to watch him, but he didn't play last game. Like, you start your guy that was hot. That made no sense to me. I was so confused.
Yeah. What do you think, Shawn?
Yeah, DJ didn't start the first game, did he?
I don't believe.
No, he didn't.
No. So I mean, I don't have a problem with him not starting in that respect. Like, I'm a fan personally of coaches not changing stuff too much unless you have to. And I mean, obviously they couldn't start Gaffney, or they couldn't start Cambridge last game because he was hurt. But
why didn't they start DJ Horne today? If you don't want changes, they started him last game.
Well, my point is the first game they started, like, it was obviously that like last game they would have started Cambridge if he was healthy.
No, Devin is the one that starts. Desmond started tonight.
Did he not?
Desmond and Devin both started
of them
tonight.
started tonight.
That's what I'm saying.
Desmond start? Who started game 1?
Devin has started all 3 games. Desmond didn't play last game, and Desmond didn't start first game.
Who started first game?
Devin.
No, he knows that. They don't play the same position.
I'm saying who were the guards?
It was Frankie.
I think DJ did.
Did DJ start game 1?
I'll check.
That's okay. That's what I was. Anyways, I don't know. I mean,
DJ started.
I don't really understand that.
I don't understand it.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have the guy that dropped 25 in game 2.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
makes zero sense.
And again, that's on Bobby. I don't know how much of an excuse we can have of this team trying to figure out the rotations, specifically when they played well in game 2 offensively, and then you come out here and it was again a very sluggish start. Right? Like offensively, they weren't getting anything going. And these are games that I think Bobby, or at least people in the program, you're like, okay, we can fuck around and maybe win this game late with some bad offense at the start. But when you get to conference play, and you're playing UCLA, Arizona, Oregon, Colorado, like some of these other teams, this is not going to cut it. This type of offense is not going to cut it.
Can we talk about that? I feel like that's the biggest thing with this team is their slow starts. It just always happens.
Yeah. Yep.
Today, again, they didn't make their first field goal until 14 minutes in, or until 6 minutes in at the 14-minute mark. They didn't score their first points until 4 minutes in, 4 minutes, 20 seconds, Warren Washington free throws. Like, I don't know why they can't get going. It makes no sense.
You feel like at a certain point, Bobby would see that and try and scheme something.
I think he does. I just don't know if it works ever.
Well, look, hopefully they can get something offensively figured out. Otherwise, it's going to be rough.
I like what Jason's saying. Let's get CTT in here to coach this team.
Why not?
Shit will go crazy.
Why not? Let's see what the fuck happens. Look, if this ASU offense continues to be sluggish, then it's going to require us to be drinking a lot of Four Peaks. A lot of Four Peaks. Look, guys, if you didn't know, we're teaming up with them to host all U.S. and Mexico World Cup matches at their 8th Street Pub. You guys can enjoy beer specials, giveaways, guest appearances, and more. Check the link in the show notes to register for free. Omar, I'm looking at you. I want to see you at Four Peaks. Let's have a conversation, man. Do got to be 21 or older and enjoy responsibly. Let's get to bottle service, because someone's got to win it, right? Somebody has to be the player of the game.
Somebody was good.
Somebody was good tonight.
Somebody was really good. He tries really hard, and that's all you can ask.
Who was it? Let's see who got bottle service tonight.
Got to be Frankie Collins. Finished with 23 points, 8 boards, 7 of 14 from the field. He's a great rebounding guard, and he tries really hard. The facilitating, I think, is not there yet. I think only 2 assists on the night. But, when you need a bucket, he's going to go get you one. And he did that multiple times tonight. A couple turnovers here and there that, really cost them, especially the last one. But we can talk about that.
3 assists, later. 5 turnovers.
3 assists, 5 turnovers. Yeah, not what you want from your starting point guard. And I wonder if Bobby even likes him putting up 23 a game if it doesn't mean he's going to facilitate.
Yeah. Ultimately, the points don't mean anything. I do think there were a number of there were positives from this game. I was very happy with. It's nice knowing that someone can put up 20 points. It's 3 games, but relatively consistent.
Yeah.
I just wish it was not
in a lot.
It does. Well, yeah, and I wish it wasn't seemingly at the cost of his ability to facilitate, like Shane was saying. Which is why, going back when Jemiah is healthy, like I had said earlier, I would not hate him playing off the ball and Jemiah starting at point guard. But that's the situation for whenever Jemiah is healthy. But yeah, the only reason they ultimately were in this game is because he was able to put up those points. So yeah, I'll take it, I guess.
100%. I do want to talk about one of the other guards, Austin Nunez.
Yes.
Freshman. We didn't know at the start of the season how much we were going to see him, but he played a lot of minutes, especially down the stretch in a close game. What did you see from him tonight?
I was happy with what we saw from him. He made a couple big shots. I liked his energy defensively. He was just in it, and I think it says a lot about him that Bobby had the confidence to give him minutes like that late in the game.
He played in overtime too, didn't
he? Yeah, I think he did at one point. So
Nunez played almost the entire overtime period.
So I mean,
he played the entire overtime period actually.
No, there was a point where he wasn't on the court because I remember looking for him, but
toward the end, that last couple possessions.
He didn't finish the game, which whatever. He's a freshman. I wouldn't want him finishing the game in that situation, to be honest. But I think I was impressed with him. I like you had said at one point when we were watching the game, I think he's going to be a very good player here for a few years. Obviously, he still has to develop. He wasn't making a massive impact, but it was noticeable in a positive way. So I'll take that.
Yeah, 100%. Outside of Frankie Collins shooting 7 of 14 from the field, Nunez shot the second best on the team, or I guess tying Collins, shooting 50% from the field. And he shot the best of any Sun Devil tonight from behind the arc, again, shooting 50%, 2 of 4. So I'm interested to watch his development, and I'm really intrigued to see when Jemiah does come back, how many minutes, how does that impact Nunez's minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I think through these first 3 games, like it obviously impacts it negatively, right? He's going to play less, but I think through these first 3 games, he's made it slightly more difficult to not try and get him time.
Yeah.
But I guess that's something we'll see when Jemiah's healthy.
Yeah, that's true. One thing that made this Sunday a little bit worse than yesterday's loss is we had Burrito Express.
Yeah.
Before ASU lost in football, we did not have Burrito Express before they blew a lead to Texas Southern. So that made the day a little bit worse, but you can always spice up Monday with a little Burrito Express. Look, guys, if you haven't tried Burrito Express yet, I don't know what you're doing at this point. The best breakfast burritos in town. We can concur on that, right?
I mean, it's not even a question.
Right? Best breakfast burritos. Best. I'm gonna go as far and say that best food in Tempe.
I mean, best food I've had in Tempe. I mean, the reality is that they're the best burritos I've ever had, and so because I'm the center of the universe, they're the best burritos in the world.
Okay, I'm here for that. 100%.
Sound logic.
Look, it didn't happen yesterday, but hopefully against Oregon State or U of A, Daniel Ngata can find the end zone so that the Sun Devils and Sun Devil fans get $4 burritos
and happiness
following
in their lives.
Day. Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right, guys, go check out Burrito Express. Let's get to Aftertaste. I don't have anything sus because it's depressing, but I guess just what was forced into your mouth and what this tastes like.
Remember how I said battery acid yesterday after the football game? Yeah. Battery acid.
Again.
Yeah.
Back-to-back days of battery acid for Shawn.
I'm going to go with the water at our office.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
The brown shit.
Oh, no. It's brown and
No,
chunky.
I know what this tastes like. It tastes like our bathroom. It tastes like the palpable taste of like 3 days of urine just hanging in the air. That's what this game tasted like. Worse. The game or the urine? The taste of
the
urine.
Taste of urine is so much worse than the game was.
Maybe I'm
kind of. You know this for a fact?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to ask. I don't want to know how. But...
drinking TT.
Really?
No.
Oh, I'm being a big J journo. Just asking questions.
You're a good investigator.
I'm just trying to poke the bear a little bit. That's what I'm wondering, Tina.
We're not drinking urine.
We as a collective are not. Individually,
we don't know.
I'm gonna go.
We're not together.
I'm gonna go with Smirnoff vodka.
Like just straight, no flavor.
Yeah, no flavor. That's been out in the sun.
It tastes like urinal cakes, dude. Urinal cakes, the forbidden fruit.
That is one of those things that I want. Yeah, I want to eat
so bad.
One of the great things. One of the great things that was named.
Sorry, Tina.
Right?
Urinal cakes.
Yeah,
yeah, because that's what they are.
One of the best named things out there,
and they're cake.
I love that. I love. They're like, what should we name this? You know, the tastiest thing. One of the tastiest things we have. That's what we're going to call it.
Okay, a urinal pie.
Okay, can we go back, though, to Shane's original thing about our office water? Because I feel like that one was actually a really good one that we just got away from. Like, you're drinking, you're like, oh, I think I'm being hydrated right now. And then you get to the bottom of the cup and it's brown and you're like, wait a second.
No, it's like you drank it last week and it was brown. You're like, oh, shit. And then you come in the next week and you're like, it might be different. And it's not different because it's the same fucking basketball team as last year.
He gets so angry.
Understandably so.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. It's tough, and it doesn't get any easier for ASU right down the stretch. Like things are gonna get ugly.
Tina does not like the urine talk.
Yeah, she doesn't like the urine talk.
Understandably
What about the urinal cake talk?
Hey, next time we see U of A fan on our chat, we can just start talking about piss. And they'll leave.
Well, this one it just seems like it's getting a Tina. It doesn't seem like it's getting a Omar. Omar's out here like on a mission to like try and ruin our days when we understand what we signed up for.
Is Hurley on the hot seat at 2-1, 3 games into the season?
Let's move on.
Yeah. Like I said, this doesn't get any easier for ASU basketball. They got VCU on Wednesday. Grambling State, they should win. Then they got Alcorn State.
They have a game in between there. After that VCU game, whoever
tournament
Michigan
style.
Or whoever else is I don't remember the other team in it.
And then you got conference play. Then you got a Colorado team at Colorado, like you said, just beat Tennessee.
Great way to start out conference.
Then you got Stanford, right? And then you got SMU, number 9 Creighton, and like it just goes from there. I am not excited to see this team play UCLA. I'm not excited to see this team play Arizona.
To be honest, I'm not really excited to see this team play just about anybody at this point.
That's fair. That's 4. Marcus Bagley, I'm going to say his name again. At what point is it like I know he hit the deck hard in game 2, head injury, whatever.
He came back though.
Yeah, but he missed tonight.
No, I know, that's my point. Yeah.
Like,
can we talk about this now? Because everyone just acts like it's not a bad injury. This was bad.
Yeah. It looked bad.
Nobody talked. The announcers didn't talk about this. I brought it up like 3 times on the show, and nobody like said anything about this. He was like spazzing. He had spasms when he landed on his back, and no one talks about it. Now he's got a hip pointer. He's out for this game and the foreseeable future, and he's a fragile guy. This is a nightmare, guys. It was so much worse than we thought.
He's injury prone, man. He's just like his brother.
That was a hard fall.
Just like his brother, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people don't get hurt by that fall. So it's tough. It's just also kind of unlucky. Like, I don't know if you can. I think like I said, I think.
But we can agree he's injury prone, right? Like the unlucky fall, whatever.
Yeah,
you're injury prone.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't need that injury to happen.
No, the whole point of his redemption season now, right, is he's only played a handful of games in a Sun Devil uniform because he gets hurt every single season. You're like, okay, maybe, he's got high expectations. He's had a few unlucky seasons, which he's even said. But, like, you got to be better. You got to stay on the court. That is part of being a good basketball player at any level.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, it is for sure. It sucks because it's just like, we haven't had him, and I guess at this point we should just not expect to have him. This is what keeps happening, but at least I let myself get excited about what he could do this year, and now he's hurt again. Hopefully it's not long term, and he comes back, and then he could stay healthy for conference play, because I would really like to see him play the teams in this conference.
Marcus, I'm going to need you to do me a favor. Leading up to tip for every game, I'm going to need you to sit in a more furniture chair. Okay, so you're comfortable, there's no risk of injury, and you're good. You go straight from your more furniture chair to the court, and then when you get pulled, right back onto the more furniture chair.
Just replace his seat on the bench with a more furniture chair. I like it.
I think that would go crazy.
Yeah.
Look, guys, we keep talking about more furniture. It is literally because they have the comfiest furniture in the game. You guys can check them out at morefurniture.com. Plus, you guys are going to receive a $100 gift card for every $1,000 you spend at More Furniture. Again, morefurniture.com. They're going to hook you up with some comfy stuff. All right, Shane, I know you've been wanting to talk about it for a little bit. Before we get to lyric of the game, let's talk about the end of that game in overtime. The last, 11 seconds? They got the ball, 4 or 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Frankie Collins takes it up. They out for no timeout.
Yeah. So my whole thing with this type of stuff is, I think if you have a guy that can get his own bucket, like Frankie Collins can, I'm totally fine with not calling a timeout, 100%, because that doesn't give the defense time to set. If I don't know why he was even jumping. I didn't even think about that. Why was he in the air? He was still dribbling. He didn't give a fake or anything. The guy was just in the air. If he makes a move and gets past that guy, he's got a floater that's probably got a 50-50 chance of going in to win the game. Don't hate it. I don't mind not calling a timeout, but what I do mind is not understanding why that wasn't a kickball.
Yeah, that is very true.
And also just the movement. There was, everyone was kind of stationary. As soon as he got the ball, everyone got to their respective spots and just stayed there. There was no movement. There was no cutting. And I know it was really fast. Everything happens quick. I'll have to watch it again. But to me, it just didn't look like it looked like what this offense always looks like. And you got to be better in the last stretch of it. So I don't know. I also wanted to address a comment earlier. Did we say this on the show? Keep scrolling up. Matt, he said, at one point on a previous podcast, one of you guys asked the question if Arizona basketball was closer to UCLA or to ASU.
I don't think anybody asked that question. I didn't ask that question.
I feel like we talked about something vaguely like that, but I don't feel like we would have talked about U of A like
the only time we brought up a question similar to that is when I asked Shawn during Power Rankings about where is the gap in the conference, right? You've got UCLA, you've got Arizona, Oregon, Stanford. Like, is UCLA the top, and then there's a little bit of a gap between Arizona and the other schools? That is maybe what you're addressing?
I think there is clearly a gap between UCLA and U of A.
And then a bigger gap from Arizona.
Those two are much closer.
I don't know how clear that gap is.
I mean, I have to see them play real teams.
I want to see them play each other.
Yeah, also true.
Luckily, we get to see that twice.
So we'll get to once we get to conference play. I mean, I think there is a gap. Like I do think UCLA is the best, but I don't think any of us would have said anything.
Bobby can no longer wear a suit jacket before the game.
Yeah, why? What's even the point? Why bring it if you're gonna
not gonna wear it?
Not gonna wear it or use it.
He kicked the ball. He kicked the ball. It felt like he kicked the ball. It's tough. Look, you win some, you lose some. There are plenty more ASU basketball games that you guys can go to, and if you don't want to go see Bobby Hurley's Sun Devils, well, look, you can go watch Shawn Aguano's Sun Devils one last time at home against Oregon State this coming Saturday, and there's only one place to get your tickets, guys. That is Game Time. You guys can save up to 60% on tickets when you buy tickets last minute. It's great for you procrastinators out there, and the best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in the description. Shane, it is time for the lyric of the game.
Time for the lyric of the game.
So sad.
Today's lyric of the game comes from the Front Bottoms. The song is Be Nice to Me. I wish that could just be the lyric of the game. And the lyric is, I think you're changing. Don't worry. You don't have to stay the same. This team is the same. I thought they were changing halfway through the game, but they're not. They're the same team. They don't have any offense. They have big men. They got taller guys. They look different.
Yeah, I don't think they have big men. They have tall men.
They have a big man.
They got they got a large man who plays like a big man sometimes.
Warren Washington or Enoch?
I think there is a difference between a big man and a tall man, and I think Warren Washington is a tall man.
I mean, Warren Washington looked like a grown-ass man today.
Yeah, I mean, he was good.
10 and 14 and 4 blocks.
There's nothing wrong with being a tall man, but it's just there's a difference between, like, Enoch, that's a big man.
Enoch played how many minutes did we figure out? Less than 10. Yeah, and had 3 fouls.
Less than 10.
3 fouls.
It was one stint.
We know at this point why he's not playing, right? Like we understand
he had 3 fouls?
He had 3 fouls. Like we understand now why Enoch doesn't play.
I guess. I mean, I'm still surprised that Duke Brennan is getting, because it's not like Duke Brennan's been crazy impressive. Like I've liked it for the most part. I didn't really understand why off rip he was getting so much more play than Enoch, but I mean, maybe Enoch is just raw potential that will always be raw.
Kind of unlucky, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, any final thoughts on a heartbreaking loss?
Done already?
On a football
Go
Sunday?
VCU.
I mean, do you want to continue to talk about what we just watched? We watched ASU lose to Texas Southern with maybe 50 people in the fans.
Let's talk about solutions. Let's talk about what you want to see next game.
I want to see this offense get off to a hot start. You can't have your first bucket come 6 minutes in the game, and it can't be from your center shooting free throws.
Did you guys see anything as to why they might not be able to score? Like, is there just...
It doesn't feel like there's enough movement. It feels like you've said in the past, this is a team that plays one-on-one basketball for probably the first 10 minutes of the game, and then when they have a lead, they go back to playing one-on-one basketball because they don't know how to hold a lead.
I mean, it's been 3 games, and so it's a small sample size. I think it's pretty clear that, like, I mean, that's what I think it's pretty clear that this team is better when Frankie is not the score. Like,
yes, when DJ guy, is the guy.
Or it doesn't necessarily have to be DJ, but when your point guard is not the center of your scoring. I think it's like that was the case in the second game, and they looked way better than they did in the first or the third game. So really, I think that's the key, and I think that gets a little better when Jeremiah is in the lineup. I think he helps that, but just you can't rely on your point guard to be the entirety of your scoring. You're not going to win games like that.
How much of this do you think Frankie is? Because we saw in game 1, right? Him scored 20-plus points. Game 3 scores 20-plus points. The assist number is not really there. Game 2, total opposite. Not a whole lot of scoring, but plenty of assists. He is the facilitator. How much of in these 20-point games from Frankie is him not creating shots for his teammates versus his teammates just not putting it through
I don't think he did anything
rim?
Wrong at all tonight.
You don't think Frankie did?
I mean, he had some bad turnovers, but like I thought he was trying to do too much at times when the offense wasn't trying to do anything.
Yeah. I don't blame him for it. I think it's more of like a general game planning thing.
I think the biggest thing is his team needs to play fast because they can't set up half-court offense. They just have to adapt that mentality of let's move the ball fast. I mean, we saw multiple threes in transition go down because they were moving the ball fast. Multiple meaning 3 because they
I was going to say
5. But 3 of their 5 were in transition. And we saw it just fires you up when you get transition buckets. You got to play faster. You got to play. I think you pick up 70 feet and you move the ball like a mother. Like you not half court set and move the ball. Like rebound, outlet, go. Just doesn't matter when. Even on an inbounds pass, go, run. pace because one, this team is athletic, and two, it's deep.
Yeah, I would like to see them either start making their threes or just shoot less of them also. Because, I mean, again, I think the same thing for last year. You saw that when they shot, I mean, which is no shit, but right, like when they shot well from three, they were good.
Yeah.
But like if you're not going to shoot well from three, don't shoot from
Stop
three.
It.
So I'd like that. Just more like I guess in-game adjustment too.
Yeah. I need pace, and I think that's the next thing. That's the next step because we are asking for pace the entire year. Last year they played with a little bit of it. I remember I asked Bobby in a press conference like halfway through the year. I was like, because he said they were trying to play. I forget what it was. I said something along the lines of like, you guys looked good playing fast tonight. I think it was the game against GCU. Like, is that something you're trying to implement? And this was after a loss after the GCU game. And he said, we were trying to. How do you try to
Sounds
play
like Herm. Sounds like Herm.
Yeah.
Herm literally, it may not look like it out there, but we're trying to go fast.
Yeah.
Well, look how that ended up.
Bryant. Yeah.
Doesn't help. We mentioned the
Oh, you get a rebound.
Yeah.
Just get one.
They got out offensive rebound.
And it's the thing that confuses me is like I feel like this is a team of good rebounders. Like you see
it's a team of tall guys.
Well, no, but I mean I've seen both Frankie and Nunes
they have
go
two
get
good
boards.
rebounders and they're both guards.
Well, yeah.
Omar, I got one for
Fair.
you. Marcus Bagley. Just saying.
Who also I know I'm falling into the trap here. Marcus Bagley would start at U of A.
Yeah. 100%.
When 100% healthy.
When healthy.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Look,
I think he would.
That's going to do it for us today, but we will be back with a live show on Monday.
Throwing a flash grenade and running out of the room.
To talk more ASU football and just ASU sports in general. But if you enjoyed the content, Omar, I'm looking at you. Give us a follow at PHNX.
Thanks for watching the whole time.
I appreciate
Sun
it.
Devils.
You
You
too,
follow
Tina.
me at Anthony_Totri. Tina, tall compared to me. That's who they're talking about. You can follow Shane at Shane Deven. You can follow Shawn DePause at Shawn_DePause.
An internal misery as always.
Have a great rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Circle
but for now,
those wagons.
peace.
God damn it! Why, you had.